Yeah.
This is the second video that I'm doing, trying to get my husband back home. This is between me and the Minister of Health and Wellness. At first, Lisa Bowden, the coordinator for adult protection, tried to get John to lie and say I had physically abused him, which isn't true. It's a non-issue, as John and I have never hit one another in the 15 years we were together, looking out for one another. I miss him dreadfully. John is deaf. I am aware of his issues with his deafness, including his problems with balance. He reads my lips very well. I'm used to making sure he's as steady as possible. As for his incompetence, as they claim he is incompetent, he is not incompetent. His 2 tests for dementia showed normal range. As for vascular dementia that they say he has, we all have it to some extent. All of us have some of our arteries plugged up. John's vascular dementia is not severe. It is no reason to keep him imprisoned in a nursing home. Lots of people with canes and walkers and some dementia are cared for at home, as they should be. Lisa did not want me to influence John to want to come home, so she put restraining orders on me. I haven't seen John since June, when Lisa took him away. She said to me, I am putting John away, and when I am finished putting John away, I am putting you away too. This statement is typical of her abuse of power as a coordinator for adult protection. This suffering, being separated from my mate, has been the worst kind of an emotional abuse a person can ever experience. Shockingly separated from a loved one. Many people who go see him, friends and other parts of his family, say he wants to come home, but he's not able to come home. They're keeping him imprisoned in the nursing home. My family is not allowed to go visit him. Lisa doesn't want him to be influenced in any way to want to come home. She wants to keep him imprisoned in a nursing home. This suffering, being separated from my mate, has been the worst kind of an emotional abuse and mental abuse that a person can ever experience. Separated from a loved one is very shocking. John and I are emotionally, physically, and morally better off. Together as a couple, we can care deeply for one another. Nursing homes can't give a one-on-one 24 hours a day the way we can give attention to one another. Love is such a basic need. Without love, our spirits die. John and I have a few good years left for living together. Please lift the order of restraint and the order of protection. Let John come home to the house that I have neatly arranged to lower his risks of falling. He will be safe to walk around. We have bars already in place by his bed, the shower, the entrances, etc. We have a walk-in shower large enough for a chair for him to sit on. Please reinstate my power of attorney. Lisa's document contains several libelous statements. I did not ever physically hit John. I did not harm John in any way physically. I did not get kicked out of university as she claimed I did. I have my diploma. I have a major in English, in French, and educational psychology. His clothes were clean, not dirty, like she said, when they took him away. He is very competent at staying clean. He has his own way of putting on his support hose and socks. He loves salads, so I only had to make one meal a day. He is not demanding at all. Lisa could be much kinder with the elderly. She's too quick to assume falsely. She put John away against his wishes, against my wishes. John's wish has been to come home. It's been his wish for over 3 months now. But they convinced him that he has no say. They convinced him he isn't competent to think for himself. When John comes home, we will install a heat pump, so he no longer needs to worry about wood. Whatever wood we'll need will be cut up by hired men. Please allow John to come home where he belongs, so we can be happy again together. Again. This was John's letter. I have it. I have his letter. I have just to find it. Anyway, we need to have the restraint order and the order of protection revoked so we can be two very happy people once again. Right now we lack the fortitude that happiness brings to 2 seniors who gave their all, best we could, to our country before we became seniors. John was an entertainer. He plays piano exceedingly well, despite his deafness. He worked as a long-haul truck driver, and I was a teacher, mother, amongst other jobs we had as well. Over the years, we deserve to be treated humanely, given a chance to prove we can do exceedingly well together. I don't know about all John's medications, but I personally require 3 different medications just for my nerves to remain somewhat stable. It feels so scary being separated. Feels like someone is tearing the skin off of your body. Feels like your feet aren't touching the ground. You're so scared. I feel I lost my love, my John, for no good reason other than the mess my home was in at the time, and I fixed that problem, and had told Lisa I had that problem, and had plans to clean it up. When my son with schizophrenia came to live with us for a short while, he emptied my containers to make room for his things. John and I want desperately to be home together as soon as possible. We'll be so happy then. This is for the Minister of Health and Wellness. Please listen to us. Yes, John, I have a letter from John that he wrote early on saying, first of all, he could speak for himself. He didn't need anybody to speak for him. Secondly, he wanted to come home. And thirdly, I was the best person for him. So I hope that the Minister of Health and Wellness will listen, and listen well to the elderly who can look after each other. Who's going to be here if I fall? Nobody. Who's going to be here if John falls? I will. Who's going to be there if John falls in his room? They don't have people in there 24 hours a day. No. We can best look after each other's interests. And that's what we're asking for. My heartbeat is way too high. I have high blood pressure. I'm diabetic. I'm not supposed to have any stress at all. And yet, look at the stress that they have us both under. It's almost unbearable. Well, it is unbearable. No sense saying it's almost. It is unbearable. We both need to hold on to each other for our physical and spiritual strength, our moral strength. We need each other. We did very well before they took him away. And he walked out on his own without a cane, without a walker. They've got him dependent on a walker now. However, when he gets home, he can use a cane at some point instead of a walker. That would be very nice. Anyway, I don't know what else to say except that I feel that it's against the Criminal Code of Canada to separate seniors who can live very well together and help each other out together. I really feel that it's against the Criminal Code of Canada what is happening. And I really feel women like Lisa Bowden has way too much power. And she does not have a good understanding of mental health and wellness. Because if she did, she wouldn't be tearing people apart for no reason. There was no reason to take us apart. None whatsoever. None. That's all I have to say for today. And I hope soon that my John will be able to come home and be happy, and be happy, and be happy. And for me to be able to hold him and love him and kiss him and hug him and be happy and be happy and be happy together again. Thank you.